Welcome to State of the Offense Fantasy Football News for your favorite team, the Tennessee Titans. Welcome to State of the Offense, where we provide impartial coverage of your favorite team's offense, the Tennessee Titans. Of course, at this point of the season, many players are unknowns and unproven throughout the league. But overall, I believe the fans of the Tennessee Titans should be concerned with the prospects for the offense going into next season. Last year, the Titans finished 30th in total yards in the NFL, 30th in passing, 13th in rushing, and 28th in scoring, which was good for a 7-10 season. In the skill positions, the Titans returned Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Treylon Burks, and Chig Okonkwo as the top fantasy options at each position from last year. While most fantasy football shows will only mention these four skill players, at State of the Offense we look at the entire offensive unit. We start in the trenches by analyzing the condition of the offensive line first. As y'all know, if there is no blocking, there is no scoring. On the offensive line, the Titans will bring back Aaron Brewer at center and Nicholas Petitfrere at right tackle. New starters include left tackle Andre Dillard, left guard Peter Skoronski, and right guard Daniel Brunskill. Dillard was drafted by Philadelphia in the 2019 draft with the 22nd overall pick. He graded out at a 74 by lineups.com and played a 7.5% snap share for the Eagles. The Titans invested a potential $29 million in the offseason to acquire Dillard. Of the $29 million, $13 million is guaranteed, and his contract average has him compensated as the number 12 overall tackle in the NFL. It should be noted that the Eagles did not pick up his fifth-year option as a first-round pick. The 74 grade and 7.5% snap share at left tackle by Andre Dillard compares to Taylor Lewan playing 52.9% of the snaps last year for the Titans with an 81 blocking grade. Of course, Dillard may be able to effectively replace Lewan, but the fact that he has never produced at a high level at the left tackle position in the NFL should be a concern for Titan fans. If Dillard improves his blocking grade to a career-high level in his first year with the Titans, he still may finish in the bottom half of starting left tackles in the league. Fortunately for the Titans, their passing play call rate was 30th of 32 teams. The running game attracts enough attention from opposing defenses to give the quarterbacks time, but if the Titans get behind the chains and they are forced to pass more than they want to, winning in the passing game will be nearly impossible. Right now, of the 32 projected starting left tackles in the league, Andre Dillard's 74 rating would place him as the number 29 left tackle overall. The starting left guard position is projected to be the number 11 overall pick in the draft, Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. Pre-draft analysts projected him as the top offensive line prospect going into the draft process. Skoronski has the position versatility to kick out to tackle potentially if Andre Dillard doesn't work out at left tackle, but most experts view Skoronski's best position as a guard. In fact, many observers believe that Skoronski has Pro Bowl potential as a guard. The run-first style of Northwestern and the competition that Skoronski faced in the Big Ten bodes well for Peter Skoronski's fit into the Titans' physical style of football. I project Skoronski to grade out at a 75 overall, which would rank him in the 13 to 15 range of starting left guards in the NFL as a rookie, which is pretty good. Of course, with rookies, it is hard to judge these guys, but Skoronski's profile, draft position, Tennessee's track record of rookie production, and his college production put him in this expected range. If Skoronski performs at this level, he may be the best lineman on the roster this season. At center, the Titans will bring back Aaron Brewer, who played 99% of the snaps last year as a starter for the Titans. Unfortunately, he graded out at 67, which is a backup level grade. He's listed at 274 pounds, which is small by NFL standards, and he was an undrafted player from a G5 school in Texas State back in 2020. The Titans have $4.3 million committed to him this year, so he is the second highest paid veteran offensive lineman on the team behind Andre Dillard. He is the 18th highest paid center in the NFL, so the Titans have an average starter level financial commitment to him. Brewer is 26 and he is entering his fourth season with the Titans. If he will amount to a starting caliber center in the league, it will be this year. If not, the Titans have no future money on him and they can move on from him in the offseason. At right guard, ESPN.com is projecting the Titans to start Daniel Brunskill, who they acquired from the 49ers last year. Brunskill played 2.5% of the snaps in San Francisco and graded out as a 67. Dylan Radins is currently listed as Peter Skoronski's backup at left guard, but considering that Radins was the number 53 overall pick 2 years ago and that he's only 25, it would not surprise me if he beats out a career journeyman in Daniel Brunskill, who is 29 and entering his fifth season as an undrafted player from San Diego State. Last year, Radins graded out at a 73 and played 33.6% of the snaps. Brunskill's career best year was in 2021, where he graded out as a 71, so it seems to me that Radins may be the better option. Of course, Rand Carthon came from the 49ers, so maybe his familiarity with Brunskill as a player will give Brunskill an edge here. The Titans are paying Brunskill $5.5 million on a 2-year contract, but if Peter Skoronski starts at tackle, there is a possibility that Radins and Brunskill are the two starting guards going into the season. Nicholas Petitfrere is projected to return as the starter at right tackle. As a rookie, he played 89.8% of the snaps, and he graded out as a 67. The Titans invested the 69th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft in Petitfrere, so he, like Dylan Radins, both have recent draft capital invested in them. Overall, the Titans have some reasonable cash and draft equity invested into their offensive line. I currently look at them as the least proven unit in the league, though. Coach Jason Hoteling has his work cut out for him, but if he is able to get this unit to reach the NFL average, he will deserve a lot of credit for developing this group. Beyond the line of scrimmage, the performance of the quarterback position is now the standard where NFL offenses are judged. It is a passing league, bar none. The bottom 3 passing teams last year were Chicago, Atlanta, and Tennessee. Combined, that accounted for a 17-34 record. Good coaching, defense, and the running game still do matter, but the style of ball that the Titans are known for is becoming less and less associated with winning at a high level. Ryan Tannehill is a competent NFL starting quarterback, and he has won a lot of football games. But from a fantasy football standpoint, he ranks near the bottom of the league. He no longer possesses upside as a running threat, so his opportunities in fantasy football place him as a quarterback 3. If he plays the entire season as opposed to the 12 games he started last year, the AFC South has enough weak defenses to where you might be able to use Tannehill as a bye-week filler or an injury replacement. From a weapons perspective, there is no proven veteran pass catcher in the offense. Ryan Tannehill will be dependent upon 3 second-year players to show massive improvements in their games to become a reliable fantasy quarterback. Behind Tannehill, Malik Willis and Will Levis are 2 young prospects that the Titans have recently drafted. Neither of them is worth a look for starting in fantasy football in the 2023 season. In rookie leagues, Will Levis is probably deserving of a 2nd-round rookie pick. If you're in a super flex league, possibly a 3rd-round pick in a 1-quarterback league. Treylon Burks is the only definite starting wide receiver who produced any kind of production for the Titans. Robert Woods only accounted for 527 yards receiving last year for the Titans, and he moved on to the Texans. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is back, but he's just a role player who's never been a fantasy producer. Chris Moore was picked up in free agency from the Texans, which I think speaks volumes for the need at wide receiver for the Titans. Having to pick up a backup receiver from the Texans to become a possible starter. Fantasy football is a game that rewards big play production and touchdowns for the most part. In points per reception formats, possession receivers do hold some value. And if you look at the Titans roster and their receiving core, Treylon Burks and Kyle Phillips are probably the only players who may be able to put up regular fantasy football numbers. Burks has all the physical tools to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL. Whether he develops his game, stays healthy, and produces from week to week are a lot of ifs. I would like to have Treylon as a wide receiver 5 who I draft very late in redraft leagues. In dynasty leagues, I only want him if I'm rebuilding. If Treylon is just riding my bench on a contending team, I would like to trade him away for a veteran producer at the trade deadline in order to try to win the league championship. Kyle Phillips generated 13 targets last season as a rookie. 9 of those 13 came in the season opener with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. Targets are a very strong indicator of future fantasy football potential, so Kyle Phillips can become a sneaky upside play in points per reception formats as a waiver wire addition early in the season. Many fantasy football observers are excited about the potential breakout of Chig Okonkwo at the tight end position. The Titans have shown a willingness to run tight end screens for him, which generates easy fantasy points for points per reception formats. They believe in his ability to run after the catch and make plays. While I like Chig as a dynasty prospect, I'm not sure about him for 2023. From a Titans fantasy football player perspective, after King Henry and Treylon Burks, he is the guy that I'm most interested in acquiring. If you draft Chig in the last round as a tight end 2, he might pay off for you, but I would say that not drafting him and tracking him as an early season waiver wire add may be more sensible. Now for the fun part. Traditionally, the running back position is the beginning and end of fantasy football success. Position scarcity for producing players and the league requirements to generally start 2 running backs per team usually puts such a high demand on running backs to where teams often in fantasy reach for running backs and you have many bust at the position as a result. The NFL no longer operates with the requirement that an offense be built around one workhorse running back. There are many committee situations around the league overall. So the running back position is getting devalued overall in fantasy football. Many leagues are starting 3 wide receivers and having multiple flex options so you could get more point production from other areas. Of course, Derrick Henry is an all-time fantasy football producer, but he should only be viewed as a fantasy starter for one more season. At 29 and with the structure of his contract, I could easily see this being Derrick Henry's last season as a Tennessee Titan. Derrick Henry may be able to extend his career by playing a smaller role in whatever offense he participates in the future. The future of the Titans running back position appears to be in the hands of most recent draft picks Tyjae Spears and Hassan Haskins, but neither will be the talent that Derrick Henry has been and currently is. Tyjae Spears fell in the draft because of his knee injury history. As a talent, I believe that he could be as good as the number 2 running back from this draft class. I would not draft Spears in any redraft league behind Derrick Henry, though. In a rookie draft, if he falls to the 3rd round, maybe. I like Haskins if the offensive line improves and Haskins' snap count goes up. With the current situations of Derrick Henry being Derrick Henry, the offensive line being unproven, and a higher draft investment in Tyjae Spears, I have a hard time seeing any reasonable production coming from Hassan Haskins in 2023. In one-year redraft leagues, I would try to get Henry in the 2nd round. In keeper and dynasty leagues, you probably should have traded him away last year to maximize his value. And with any other player on the Titans roster for dynasty, proceed with caution. I respect what Mike Vrabel has done in his time as the coach of the Tennessee Titans. The change in general manager to Rand Carthon probably means that Vrabel will move on after the 2023 season. From a fantasy football perspective, I would say that Derrick Henry is the only player on the Titans roster who should be a reliable fantasy starter. Unfortunately for the Titans, they may be entering training camp this season as a number 32 offense in the NFL, which will probably mean that they're going to end the year with a top 5 draft pick in 2024. If you like today's coverage of the Titans offense, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to support the channel.